We have got one in here from my main man, Dan.
Do you know Dan?
I don't know Dan, but I can almost assure you he is in fact the man.
Wait, I got to get ready to give good advice.
Absolutely. I feel like you're going to be a lot better than this to me. I feel like I'm a horrible advice
No,
giver.
I think we'll balance each other out.
All right, here we go. Hey team, need some advice and maybe a bit of a pep talk. Lately, I feel like I've lost all my motivation. I used to be the first one in my family out of bed and lived for a morning run or after school training. This winter has really knocked me about, I reckon. I feel like I just can't be bothered. Any advice to help me get back on track and into my fitness?
Oh, Dan the man. Okay, Dan, let's get into it. First of all, I just want to say that is such a normal thing to happen in winter. I think all of us go through that. And first and foremost, I think you need to be a lot kinder to yourself. The way you're saying, like, you're comparing how you used to do things versus now. Why don't we do a little bit of reframing and think about all of the other things that you are doing right now in this moment rather than focusing on like, oh, I used to do this, I used to do that. I think it would be really helpful for you to first of all start being a lot kinder, but also think, okay, that's what I used to do and maybe that's a place that I want to aspire to get back to. But what are some little actionable steps that I can take to kind of get me closer to that rather than focusing on the big deal like, oh, I've got to go for a run, then I've got to train, then I've got to do this. It's like, what's one thing I can do for myself today that I'm going to feel so good about? It could be as little as like getting up and making your bed.
Yeah.
Do you make your bed every day?
I do not make my bed every day, no.
Rog!
I don't. I'm not a big bed sheet changer. I'm probably still have the mental age of a 15-year-old. But you know, I think if I was going through a bit of a funk, a bit of a lull, I think that's somewhere that I would definitely start looking at, the making the bed as well. Have you ever gone through a bit of a lull where it's a bit hard and you have to find a way to get back up, or is that something that comes really naturally and easy to you?
And you know what? Actually, it's been in the past couple of like weeks that I was in that lull. So I moved house and I was really struggling and I was kind of having exactly the same feelings that Dan has been having as well, being like, oh, my old self would get up at 5 a.m. every day. But you have to remember, like, so many things change in such a short amount of time. And it's okay if you don't have that perfect, pristine routine every day. It all comes down to that self-compassion. And it's really only been for me in the past 2 weeks that I did those little small actionable steps every day to build myself back up to here. And where I am now, if I was to compare, you know, oh, I used to wake up at 5 and now I'm waking up at 6, it actually doesn't matter because it's just what you need to do for yourself and the way that you need to give yourself self-love right in that moment. That's what you should focus on.
Well, I'm going to echo a very similar statement to you, except my background obviously is footy. So I'm going to break it down in more of a football sort of sense here. Is there are times when you're in a bit of a funk, you're in a bit of a lull, and you focus on the bigger picture. You think about how you're not going to win the grand final this year, or you're thinking about the next game already, or how you might get dropped from the team or whatever. You're obviously in a funk and you're not going as well as you'd like, which is okay, that happens. What you need to think about is your next contest. Don't think about too much, just think about what you've got to do next. And how I would start with that is don't even think about the workout you've got to do the next morning. Don't think about the long run, the bench press, whatever you do. Think about getting your clothes on, like your workout gear, your training gear. So have it all laying at your bed the night before at the top of your bed, your shorts, your shirt, your socks and your runners laying there. And then when you wake up, all you have to do is put the clothes on, because I guarantee you, once the clothes are on, I know I've never done it, you've probably never done it as well. Once you've put your runners on in the morning, you don't roll back into bed. You do something, and that might be as much as one push-up, it might be a 1-minute walk, but once you got the clothes on, you'll do something, and then you build from there, then you get momentum. So just get the clothes on, make a start, and who knows, when you're doing a 1-minute walk, you might think, bugger it, I'll do a 2-minute, a 3-minute, and that's how you build momentum and get out of your funk and get the momentum back into your life.
That's it, Dan the man. It's all about celebrating those little wins along the way as well. And remember that the best version of you is going to look different every day. So don't beat yourself up if, you know, oh, I was meant to go for this long run. But it's okay, because maybe you went for a shorter walk. As long as you did something that is good for yourself every day and you're building those little habits, then we back you.